Well guys, in typical sailboat fashion, I was working on one problem and I found another problem. Good morning guys, my name is Mike and this is Free Spirit. I'm a retired restaurant owner, and a few years ago I took the huge risk of quitting my career and following my dream to become a boat captain. Well, this is my boat. Her name's Free Spirit, and she's a little bit of a legend here in Hawaii. Today, I'm working on something not very glamorous. These are toilet parts. I'm rebuilding the entire toilet system in my boat. There was an old toilet here, but I decided to start over, tear everything old out, and put new stuff in. As you can tell, things have blown up. I've got a fan here because it's about 100 degrees down there. I've got my shop vac, and I've already done a bunch of work, and I'll show you under here in a bit, but I've already raised the floor. This is the original height of the floor. I've already raised the floor here to accommodate a small holding tank underneath. And this is the old holding tank, and one, didn't trust it, two, it smells, and I just wanted to start over. So there's a lot of things that have to happen. I'm working on holding tank plumbing. I've already got the flange set. My toilet is up here. Yeah, it's up on the mattress, but it's brand new, so it's clean. And I have to work on the water system because it's going to have an independent system for water. I don't want to tie into the main water. I want the toilet to have its own water, so there's never any chance of contamination. So there's going to be a water bladder back there with a pump. So there's some electrical work involved. There's a lot going on, and I'm already sweating. It's not even 9 a.m. So here it is. It's kind of a unique setup for a boat. I haven't really seen a lot of these used. This is an RV toilet. All right, we got the old poop tank out. That's a pretty good step. Whew. Pretty glamorous, guys, pretty glamorous. Okay, well, I cleaned and sanded, and then I coated everything in epoxy. Kind of reinforced that through hull over there. I don't know if you can see that. Oh yeah, you can see it probably. Slightly soft. That one concerns me a little bit, but I think it'll be all right. Next haul out, that will definitely get replaced. And so now I think the best, instead of trying to work in here, I think the best plan of attack is to start figuring out the water bladder, which is out here, and kind of just figuring out how that's going to be installed. I'm thinking that's going to have some lines that like it's gonna have to kind of hang from the beams in order for it to not just kind of collapse. So let's open that up. Well, once again, I have 4 left gloves and no right gloves. This happens to me every single day. I don't know how I do it. I'm gonna wear a left on the right. Doesn't really work that well, but here we go. Okay, there it is. Again, this is just the mounting plate for the water pressure pump. It's going to get mounted right here in line with the outlet of the holding tank. Let's let that dry, get out of here. So yeah, here's that old holding tank. It's in decent shape, but you can't really tell if there might be some hairline cracks. It does have some kind of bulging here, and yeah, like I said, I'm not totally sure. Yeah, I think it's beyond its lifetime, and I just don't want to take any risks. The last thing you want is a leaky tank and then you have to crawl back in a dark space and deal with it. So there it is. So now I'm back at this point where I've kind of prepped a bunch of different areas, and it's a little hard to keep going with this project. And I have one other project that I want to start tackling, which is my windlass. And there's a battery up there at the bow for the windlass that is connected to the starter battery. So well, let me take you up there. So the windlass is the piece of equipment that pulls up the anchor, and it's battery powered. And so down in this hatch, okay, now I have this bird that hangs out here at night and it's so annoying. It's just messing up my whole deck. I'm gonna have to wash this. This is the windlass. There's a battery down here that powers this, and of course this battery has to get charged. So there's wires that run the entire length of the boat and connect to the starter battery, which is fed by the alternator off the diesel engine. But I'm not getting any charging up there. And I had a little solar panel on it at some point, but it needs to be charged by the alternator. So I need to kind of diagnose that again today. I'm gonna start the diesel, take some readings with my multimeter, and start figuring that out. Well guys, in typical sailboat fashion, I was working on one problem and I found another problem. So I was crawling around the engine room, actually tracing this wire right here, this one that's marked with the yellow tape, because that's my windlass battery. But then as I'm crawling around over here, let's get a light on it, I'm looking at this exhaust elbow or exit, and there's a giant corroded hole in it. Yeah, there it is. That's the wet exhaust. You can see right there where it goes out the boat in the back. And it's funny because I actually noticed last time I ran the engine, I noticed that there's a little more smoke in the engine room than I was used to. But I had just cleaned the engine and wiped it down with some WD-40, and I was cleaned up a little water, or got a little water in there. So I thought it was just all that stuff burning off. Turns out there's all that corrosion. Where did I put my flashlight? There it is. So I'm gonna have to take off this these 4 bolts and all this stuff right here, and see if I can't figure this out. Just looks like it's, yeah, just rusted through. Wonderful. Man, these guys are really fighting me. Oh, they've been on there for a while. many years. Gosh, I'm almost all the way out, but it still won't move. There we go. Wow, man. That's completely separated. I don't know if you can see that. My headlamp's going out, but there we go. It's starting to come out here. All right, guys. Well, that's the end of another day out here. It's 4 o'clock. I already went to Lowe's. I grabbed some stuff for tomorrow. I'm pooped. It's time for a beer and watch the sunset here in a couple hours. Thanks for joining me today. Kind of a little bit of a downer because we found that new problem on the engine, right? So something new to think about, but I always think about like the future, like, oh, that'll be brand new when I'm done with it. So gotta stay positive, right? All right, you guys, aloha. See you next time.